of our information, because she is the one who's going to help to keep us together so that we don't fall into the pitfalls that we could, because we don't want to get into quicksand and ended up sinking this biennium. So make sure that you pay attention and that you downloaded all the information that's necessary. And when we get back from international, that you make sure that you take heed to the new items that might be occurring, so that you can keep your chapter abreast of what the new changes might be occurring, so that you all will be up to date. Now, can I ask, is Debbie Cantor in the house?
No.
Morning. All right. Then we are going to continue on with our wonderful editor. We are so glad that she is feeling a little better and that she is with us this morning. Kathy Tenney is going to give us a guide to be on the map to Gold Key. Let us receive her with a silent applause this morning.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to go on a search for the Gold Key. And before we start that, I'm going to give you a little bit of historical background on it. It was created by Louisa Strock, a Beta Zeta chapter, in 1982. It has been over 40 years that the Gold Key has been awarded, with the first award in 1983. She created this to create an awareness of the various activities that are required, as well as the purposes of DKG. And in the hopes that your chapter will work together, brings a sense of teamwork, pride, and accomplishment. A lot of chapters take a lot of pride in achieving the Gold Key. And so we recognize them with a certificate at the State Executive Board meeting, and typically in the fall. The 24-25 Gold Key will be, the application for it is online. It will be due June 1st of 2025. And one thing that chapters need to understand, all of the key points must be completed in full to be earned Gold Key. Gold Key chapters will not only earn all of the key points, but they're also earning all of the polish points. And I will be going over the different ones, key points and polish points. An honor chapter will have completed all of the key points plus 3 polish points. And an honorable mention chapter will be all key points and 1 or 2 polish points. Key points. OSO State Executive Board meetings. Your chapter needs to be represented at both. There's typically a fall meeting in September and then a spring executive board meeting, and it will be in April. And you need to be represented. If the president can't come, she may designate someone to go in her place to represent their chapter. 3 chapter yearbooks. Those are due November 1st of 2024. And the reason we say 3 is because you will send one to OSO President Melody McGee, one to our first Vice President, Michelle Meniscus, and the 3rd one coming to me. We use that a lot of times. I will get an email and it doesn't have a chapter. It has someone's name, but not a chapter associated with it. So I use the yearbook to go try to figure out, okay, what chapter are they in? So they do come in handy. We all use them very much. The chapter necrology report, that's due February 1st of 2025. Even if you do not have any chapter member that is deceased during that year, you still need to submit it. You just put, there's directions on it, what you need to say, but every chapter still needs to submit it, even if there were no deaths in their chapter. The chapter's president's report for 24-25 will be due again on June 1st of 2025. Items that your treasurer will need to take care of that are key points. The IRS Form 990N must be completed and submitted. The annual report of chapter treasurers, which is Form 15, is due July 15th. So in just a little over a month, that report is due. And all payments of invoices, dues, and fee payments to OSO will be due by February 28, 2025. This is a new key point this year. So if your chapter owes any money to the state, hasn't paid their dues, or for some reason owes a fee, that must be taken care of by February. The last two key points deals with your chapter. Each chapter is expected to have 2 executive board meetings and 4 chapter business meetings. Some chapters meet every month. Some begin in August, others begin in September and go through May. There's still some chapters meeting yet in June. A lot of chapters take January off. Some take January and February. But you must have 4 chapter business meetings in the year. Polish points. The first polish point that you can earn is for the chapter project. And the chapter project centers around the OSO President's Initiative. Past year, we were a little more lenient. We allowed you to continue from past President Debbie Cantor's initiatives. This coming year, you must focus on domestic violence for the chapter project in order to receive that. Under membership, there are 3 different options, and I know Michelle's going to go over those, I think, and you need to complete 2 of them. They're very simple, doesn't take a lot of time. So that would be your second polish point. Third polish point is from the communications and marketing. You only have to complete a minimum of 2, and you have lots of choices. Chapter newsletters. I would recommend when you have a chapter newsletter, send it immediately to myself and to the president. Don't wait until May, because then you don't remember if you submitted them or not. If you just include us in your mailing list, email list, we get it as your members get it. A photo with a caption published in The Voice. Preferably that photo, if it's something that you do in December, send that to me right away. Don't send it to me in February or March. And people don't really want to see Christmas things coming up on Easter. So try to keep those current. Updated website. You need to have a compliance seal from International. I know in the past, sometimes there's been issues with that, and I do check the chapter websites, trust me. I look at them for ideas for my own chapter, and I do check to see if you have the compliance seal. Or do you have a Facebook page? Is it updated? And some of you are fortunate enough to have a local newspaper that will print your articles. We do not. But if you submit an article and a photo to a local newspaper, just send me a copy of. You can take a use your phone camera, take a picture of it and send it to me. I had 1 chapter this past year that actually had an article submitted to the newspaper. So you only need to complete 2 out of all of those options. Contributions. You have 3 different options there. We have ADS OEF, the state foundation, World Fellowship. This year, new will be Delta Kappa Gamma International Educational Foundation. So you only need to make a contribution to 1. If you do all 3, that's awesome. We have a lot of chapters that do that, and that's greatly appreciated. But those are your options. There are 4 different categories of polish points. So you would have to earn the polish point for each one of those 4 options. One of the things that you were asked to print was the planning guide for Gold Key and the chapter president's report. And some people didn't know where, there was a question, I guess, on Tuesday, is where you could find that. Anything you need to know about our state organization, typically, if you go to our website, which is dkgohio.org, I'm going to show you how to search for it. When you open up, this is what our website looks like. Up here at the top is a search bar. And you can just type in, and so I'm going to type in Gold Key. And then hit enter. And notice Gold Key Coordinator comes up, which is the position, one of my other positions. And you will scroll down. I already have, excuse me, I need a drink here. The guidelines for Gold Key in the chapter president report for this coming year. If you click here to download, that sheet will pop up. It goes over everything that I've already done. It has the dates of the state executive board meetings. Tells you who you have to mail the yearbooks or email the yearbooks to. We do prefer that you email them to us because it can get costly. I think this year I only had 2 chapters that actually mailed me their yearbook. Everybody else created a PDF file or a Word document, which they sent. The necrology report, chapter president's report, talks about your executive board meetings. It's something to point out too is that your executive board meetings do not necessarily have to be face-to-face. You could do it through a conference call, Zoom, or whatever other options you have available to you. The annual report of chapter treasurers, Form 15, that needs to be sent to Diana Haskell, our state treasurer, by July 15th, in a little over a month here. Your IRS Form 990N, that also, a copy of that filing should be sent to Diana, and the deadline there is November 15th. If you do not have a 990N, after so many years, you are no longer considered legally a chapter. We have to drop you. So that's really important, and I'm sure Diana's going to stress that. And again, your chapter 4 business meetings, and then the payments. You want to fill, this sheet is going to help you. You should actually kind of fill this out because you can print it out, fill it out before you ever complete your Gold Key application, which is online, or the chapter's president's report, because a lot of this is on both of those reports. And you can see here are the different sections under membership, and Michelle will talk more about that. And then communications and marketing. The one thing that I do ask is in order for your photos, I have to receive your photos. They have to appear in the July 2024 issue of The Voice up through June. So if you don't send me a picture and you want it in the June Voice, it needs to be to me by May 15th. A lot of times people send me pictures and I can't always use them that month because they send it after the deadline and I already have a lot of stuff. It just depends on what I have, how much I have for the newsletter. And then our contributions. And then you can check off whether you'll know whether you have obtained all the key points and the polished points. And there is also the last sheet of that has all of the information people you need to send items to, and also your deadlines for things. So the first deadline coming up for this year's 24-25 Gold Key is that annual report of chapter treasurers. And that's all available there. So that if you have any questions at all at any time, my email is editor@dkgohio.org. I'm pretty notorious. I'm on my email quite a bit. My husband says I spend too much time at my computer. But I typically respond. If I happen to be sitting at the computer and I get an email, I respond immediately. But I do respond in less than 24 hours normally. So please feel free, don't hesitate. Like I told my students, no question is a dumb question. Ask away. I'm here to help. And I can also help with some tech questions. I am more of a Mac user. I'll tell you that up front. But I can answer quite a few because that was my area that I taught in. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And does anyone have any questions regarding Gold Key that you want to ask?
Okay, take over. We've got a question over here.
Okay.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Rita Francis, Chi Chapter. When we do the 2 executive board meetings,
Yes.
how do we handle minutes for that? And do we just note that we have had that meeting in the minutes for the next meeting? Or do we keep separate minutes?
Keep separate minutes.
And where do we put those?
Your secretary should keep those. Your
Okay.
recording secretary. I'm our chapter recording secretary, and I just keep them on my desktop. Everything I do is electronic. So
Okay.
but we just
Okay.
keep them
Okay.
that way.
Just like if she has a file for all her other minutes, she just keeps them in with that.
Yes.
Okay, and what if she does paper copies?
Then she needs to keep paper copies.
Okay, all right.
And Myra might be able to
We documented that.
answer that because she's our state recording secretary.
Okay, all
Oh.
right.
You did give the right response, Kathy.
Thank you.
On target. Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
We're on board. No, we're here.
No questions? That's great. Awesome. Okay, Michelle or Melody, I'm sorry.
Okay, we thank you, Kathy, for giving us our guidelines to staying on track with Gold Key. And because of the fact we're on Zoom and everything has been pre-programmed, we are going to now break for our lunch. The time that I have is approximately 11, close to 11:40. I would say 11:38. Does everybody have that? So we're going to call it about close to 11:40. Does everybody have that on their clock? By 11:37, 11:38. So we're going to meet back according to our time schedule at 12:45 because we are all scheduled for that with the Zoom. So we're going to have a little bit elongated with our lunch. So if you've got to leave your home and go to McDonald's or Wendy's, you have a little travel time now. And we'll make sure that you are back in time to log in. So I would say be back about 12:30 so that you can log in and get comfortable in your seat so that we can get ready for part 2 of our journey together today. We thank you so much for attending part 1, and we've got some exciting presenters for our part 2, so you don't want to miss it. So please make sure that you're back, but also get your nutrition in so that you'll be ready to continue on our journey together. So again, we're going to log out now and make sure that you log back in for your afternoon journey. We'll see everybody then. Have a good lunch break.
Diana Haskell.
Yes, ma'am. Did you get mine? Did you get a message from me with 4 downloads in case mine doesn't work?
No, but I haven't checked my email. I mean,
Oh,
since
okay.
I got on, but you sent it this morning?
Yes, I did, because I didn't want you to be overloaded. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm answering people's questions about getting in and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah,
I thought you were too, and I didn't want all of that to get interrupted. So I sent it a bit ago and I've got them on my desktop, but I'm not as good as you are at bringing that stuff up.
okay, I'll check the email then.
So if you didn't get it, give me a shout out. I'll resend. And if you did, give me a shout out and I'll stop worrying.
Okay, great.
And I thought it went well this morning. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Melody. Joyce did, banged it out again. You did a great job. Kathy explaining the gold key. So I think we were on. And Michelle, looking forward to yours this afternoon.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Anything else for the good of the group?
I think we're on target.
Go eat
Okay.
lunch.
So 1
Well
o'clock
done.
is our official introduction begin, correct?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
I'll be there.
All
Happy
right.
Bye, you
Thanks,
guys.
thanks
Okay.
all.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
lunch. Okay, bye-bye.
Kathy, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I'm just one thing I'm a little worried about because it does it on its own and you're familiar with the Mac. My screen here just went to a view of different desktops up at the top. So I guess if I want to share a screen that's up at the top, I would just click on that, but I lose my Zoom picture, but I don't think it's a big deal.
No, actually, I had to minimize mine because when Molly was giving her presentation, I could, it was covering up part of the screen, but you have an option to minimize it.
Okay. Yeah,
under
I
view.
just let me share my screen with you right now. If I
Okay, yeah, you can.
okay. Oh, well, now I see it's just down. There you go. So let me see. Can you see
Okay.
this? Can you see this up here?
See,
Like,
yeah.
where it has all these different desktops?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Because
So
those are all those, if you go to one,
yeah.
click on any one, click on a different one, that one will pop up, I think.
Okay. All right. And you can see, so if I flip through those different things, if I have to go through, I shouldn't. Once I share this, you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was just my question. I just wanted to make sure because it does that when you hold a screen over too far to the right or left, then it creates its own desktop and I don't know how to fix that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. And now they're on different desktops. So I just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to cause a problem. So,
No, it isn't going to cause a problem.
all right. Thanks a lot. Have a good
Yep.
lunch.
Okay, you too.
Thanks. stop sharing. And we leave and come back in the afternoon one, right?
Yep.